All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MMAOB Daily Podcast. It is Monday, February 20th, 2023. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined by my co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel, for the MMAOB Daily Podcast. A bit of a late start here, guys. I apologize for that. My computer wasn't working, so I had to start over, restart it, and jump back on. So if anyone was waiting, that's what happened. Apologies for that, but we're here. Marcel, how's it going, man? Glad to have you back. Glad to see you again. Obviously, haven't seen you in a week. How's it going, man?
Yeah, all good, man. How about you?
Not bad. Looking forward to breaking down or recapping this card, I should say. So, again, 2 podcasts today. First one, we'll recap UFC Vegas 69. Second podcast, we'll be previewing UFC Vegas 70. All right, let's get into it, Marcel, because I know you wanted to get going. So, I just wanted to say, first off, Marcel, great picks. Great picks, man. You killed it. I think you only got Jim Miller wrong, right? Is that the only one you got wrong, if I'm not mistaken? I think so, right?
Let me think. Maybe
I think you went 10-1, dude. Like I had a rough night, but I think you actually had almost a perfect night. So.
I think I had the prelim wrong as well. Let me check for a second.
There might have been one you got on the prelims wrong, but I think you had a great night, man. I just wanted to give you some credit because you made a great prediction in the main event with Blanchfield. And did you get one other one wrong?
Against Askabov. I got that one wrong.
I thought you picked Emmers.
I thought I picked Askabov.
I think you picked Emmers, man. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, okay. I'm picked Askabov. I didn't expect that, but yeah. Either way, great pick in the main event. So we'll start off there, obviously. Right before we get into it, let's get some comments in the chat. We got our boy Glenn here, and we got our guy, we got Antoine as well. What's going on, man? Yeah, no worries, Antoine. He says he's busy. He's going to come back in an hour. That sounds good. No worries. Let's get into it, Marcel. Recap it. Well, here's the thing. It's not like I thought Blanchfield wasn't good. I obviously knew she was good, but I needed to see it before I really believed it, and I believe it now. Wow. I mean, she just ran through Jessica Andrade. Really no one's done except for maybe Valentina. What impressed me, Marcel, was not the submission, because I thought there was definitely a chance that could happen if the fight hit the ground. It's the stand-up in the first round, because she arguably outstruck Andrade in the first round. And yeah, she does have a small reach advantage did have a small reach advantage in the fight, but I still wasn't sure if she'd be able to stand trade with her, and she did. And not only that, but she actually won the round on 2 of the judges' scorecards. I thought it was a close round. It could have went either way. In the end, it doesn't matter because she obviously won the fight by finish in the second. But just the fact she was able to stand there and trade with her and land some great shots and eat some big shots, that really showed a lot to me, man. I mean, honestly, Marcel, I know you were sold on her for a long time, and I've liked her for a long time, but I needed to see this to be really sold on her. And at this point, I think she could beat anyone in the division besides maybe Valentina. And even that fight, I honestly feel like she could win that fight now. It's crazy it sounds. The thing is, Jessica, the one thing that stood out to me, Marcel, is she is undersized for the flyweight division. It's something that for now, up until now, it really hasn't bothered her too much other than the Valentina fight, because she's mostly fought strikers, right? So she didn't really have to worry about the grappling. But you saw in this fight, once the fight gets to the ground, there is a size difference here with some of the bigger flyweights like a Blanchfield. So that's one thing I want to say. But overall, man, I can't say much bad about her performance. She looked amazing. So give me your thoughts, man, because I know you picked her. It was a great pick.
Yeah, the only thing you can take away maybe from it is Andrade took the fight on 1 week's notice.
Mm-hmm. She looked tired.
Yeah, but besides that, yeah, Blanchfield looked good. The thing is, I was she did very well in the first round with trading with Jessica Andrade, but I feel like if she does that with Valentina, that's not a good idea. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, she did well, and the second round she took her down, beautiful inside trip, I think, and. Man, she finished her within 10 or 15 seconds. Was super quick,
Yeah.
And it was impressive, I think. The thing is Andrade only lost bad against Valentina. She lost more fights, but really bad against Valentina. And this was also a bad loss for her. So, I mean, Blanchfield looked really good. I see many people saying Blanchfield is everything that Macy Barber thought she was. And I really feel the same way. Yeah. Good win. What can you say? You can go 3 ways with her right now. You can let her fight the winner of Valentina against Grasso.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the Santos fight, which was originally scheduled, or you can do a main event 5-rounder against Manon Fiorot.
Mm-hmm.
So you have pretty much 3 options, and all 3. I like all 3.
I like all 3 too.
Yeah, whatever is available is good. I think. She's still young, 23. So,
yeah, that's the crazy thing. She's so young, right? And so much upside, Marcel. And that's the one thing I was thinking about last week, because I felt pretty strongly about Andrade in this fight, but looking back now, the short notice obviously I don't think helped her. And also, like I said, the size difference when they square off at the beginning of the fight for the main event, I noticed the size difference like a lot there because I didn't really notice it too much at the weigh-in. But when they were in the cage, once they like obviously rehydrated, you could tell that one fighter is a flyweight and one's more of a strawweight. I think this fight is going to send Andrade back to the strawweight division, Marcel. I do think she could beat a lot of the flyweights, but I think it's probably better for her to go to strawweight because let's be honest, like if she stayed at flyweight, is she really going to beat Valentina in a rematch? No. But I do think she would have a chance, like a small chance against Wei Li, right? And obviously she would have a chance against Rose, who she's already beaten before, or some of the other contenders there. So that's kind of what I think with her. But with Blanchfield, Marcel, she's in a great spot right now, right? Because the UFC loves her, obviously, right? And the title fight's in 2 weeks. So that card's really creeping up on us, by the way, that UFC 285 pay-per-view. So like we're gonna see John Jones in 2 weeks, guys, which is crazy. I think we have to wait and see what happens with that fight because you never know. It could be like the Santos fight where it's super close and they want to see a rematch. Like you really never know how the fight plays out, right? But odds are Valentina's going to win that fight. And I think Blanchfield's going to want a title shot. I wouldn't mind seeing her fight once more, Marcel, because she is so young that I wouldn't mind to see that Santos fight, which we were originally supposed to see. But if they do give her the title shot, I don't hate it either. But I do think one more 5-round fight against a really tough opponent like a Santos would be good for her. Yeah. So what about Furo, right? Like she's the one, she's like 32, 33, and she's like, I need more time. Like this girl's 23 and is like, I want the title shot now. Honestly, Marcel, in this sport, it moves so fast. If you're going to be like turning on title shots like Furo seems like she's doing, UFC's going to be like, all right, we'll move on. Marcel, like I almost feel like she might lose her place in line at this point because now you have a new contender who's emerged. I don't know what you think about that, Marcel, but like I just think with Furo, like I understand like she doesn't have a ton of experience in MMA, but I think she has the same amount of fights as Blanchfield, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
Right? So Blanchfield's got 12. Let me check on Manon's.
I think Furo maybe has less. So
she might have 10, right? Let me double check. Yeah. So Erin's 11-1, and Manon she's 10-1. It's one difference in fights, bro. Like it's not a lot, And she's like I said, she's 33, Marcel.
The thing is like Manon Fiorot said like before I fight for a title, I want to have a 5-rounder against a contender.
Right.
I actually respect that as well. And that's actually perfect. I feel like Manon won against the number 1 contender back then against Shukagian, right? And Blanchfield won against Andrade. And for me, the Andrade win is bigger than the Shukagian win.
Well, Andrade knocked out Shukagian, right?
So. Yeah, exactly. So. The thing is with Andrade, she can go back to strawweight. And let's be honest, man, she did the UFC a favor by taking this fight. Blanchfield didn't have an opponent. This was literally the only fight that could headline this event. So, she did the UFC a favor, and she shouldn't be punished for it, I think. I really like to see Andrade fighting for a title against Wissam Willie in strawweight. And if not, she can fight the third fight against Rose or first time against Esparza. It's crazy actually that Andrade never fought Esparza.
That fight makes sense, right? Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. And I think Andrade wins that fight, honestly. Like, I know she obviously got taken down this fight, but Esparza is a great grappler, Marcel. But I think that she's better suited at 115, personally.
But flyweight is going to be crazy, dude. Imagine, this week we're going to see Tatiana Suarez come back.
There's another contender right there, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
she
the thing.
does
So,
well.
like, you almost have like her in the mix too if she wins, and I think she will win. We'll talk about that in the next podcast here in a second. But that almost gives you like another fight. So like that's what I'm saying. You have to wait and see what happens with these fights. We can't really book it yet, but I think you gave 3 great options, man. Like either of them make sense. But yeah, Erin's in a great spot. Like she's not in a bad spot. She's in a great spot right now. Anything else you want to say? I want to get some comments here.
No, go to the comments. Yeah.
Got our boy Crazy Duck, Marcel, your guy.
What's up?
Patrick, what's up, man? He says Marcel's a guru. Yeah, Marcel made some really good picks last week. Gotta give him some credit. Erin's lateral footwork impressed me. She looked great, dude, on the feet. Right quick, how's Blanchfield versus Furo or Santos go? Is anyone else in the top 15 beat Erin? I mean, like at this point, it's hard to pick again. It's hard not to pick her against almost everyone except for like maybe Valentina. But I still think the Santos fight's interesting. I really do. Go ahead.
You know what's even crazier, man? She lost. Remember on Invicta, she lost to Tracy Cortez in a fight. I think she won. And that actually set her back 2 years. Because Tracy got the invite for the Contender Series, and Erin never got it. And she went via Invicta, 2 wins, was supposed to fight for a title against Pearl Gonzalez, didn't happen, and then she got signed by the UFC. Remember, she was supposed to debut against Norma Dumont. So
I remember we talked about that. And I was really worried about the size because normally it's
remember.
like a featherweight or a lightweight. It's
Yeah.
thunder thighs. No, I just still think it's crazy that like JJ Aldrich gave her so much problems last year. That was 6
That's
months
her most
ago.
tough fight. Yeah. in the UFC.
And now she's running through Andrade and McCann, who I think are better fighters than Aldrich. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Although I do think it shows that Aldrich is a little underrated.
I think Aldrich is better than McCann, to be honest.
Probably, yeah. You know what? Good, fair enough. But I mean, she's definitely not better than Andrade, and she just destroyed Jessica Andrade. A couple other comments here. I prefer Crazy Pato. I prefer Erin's opponent to come out of the Val Grasso matchup, and Fuhrer over Santos gets booked. They could do that. That's fine. Hard to know. Yeah, I agree, Glenn. He's right. You know, you never know. But I thought Andrade would be ready to go, man. I don't know. She didn't look like she looked ready, but once the fight started, it didn't seem like it. I'm scared for Erin on the fever, Valentina. I don't know, man. I think she can hang with her. She looked good in this fight. Most embarrassing fight. Okay, yeah, it wasn't a great card, Beatrice. We'll get into the rest of the card in a second here. Manon and Santos. I mean, it makes sense. I don't mind it at all. Let's see here. What's up, Gorilla? How's it going, man? Once again, thanks for the images for YouTube. We appreciate it, my friend. Erin was fighting a lot better regional competition. Manon was, so my plan to it. I agree. I'm just saying, like, Manon's 33. Like, you got a 23-year-old who's like, give me the shot, and the 33-year-old Marcella's like, no, I want to take more time. I just think it's kind of funny, but MMA is kind of weird like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, man? Glad I didn't chat. All right, let's go to anything else you want to say with the main event? Should we move on?
No. We can move on to these amazing upcoming fights.
Oh God. Okay, so we'll skip not skip through them. We can get through them quick. Zac Pauga defeats Jordan Wright. I mean, no surprise he wins, but like the fight was not very exciting. I honestly thought Jordan Wright would try to blitz him like he does in all his fights, but first time he goes to decision. Marcel, terrible fight. I mean, Pauga wins. They kept calling him Paunga. I don't know where the N in his name came from. I don't know. Like, did you hear that? Like the pronunciation?
I think they say Pauga.
It sounded like Paunga. Anyways, I mean, he's definitely better suited at light heavyweight, but like this fight was boring as fuck. And like, I watched this post-fight interview, and they're like, what did you think? Like, was this your game plan coming and just like push against the fence? And John Morgan asked him that, and he was like, John, he's like, you don't even have to ask me anymore, like what my game plan is going to be. He's like, I'm going to do this in every fight. I'm just going to push my opponents against the fence. That's what he said. And I'm like, oh God, don't put him in a co-main event then. Like, I don't blame the guy if he's stronger than these guys, that's what he's got to do. I get it, but like, it's not the most fun to watch, Marcel. Any quick thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, he was like, we should get a win first, and now we're going to start to get finishes. I was like, dude, the finish was open the whole damn time, but for some reason you didn't try it, Yeah. He had also Overeem in the corner. Funny to me. I know he was in the corner for Overeem fighting Glory Kickboxing, so and what wasn't a great fight, let's be honest. I got bored, and before that fight I got bored already. Just not co-main event worthy. Wasn't when it was before on the card, and wasn't afterwards. Just a fight we will never talk about again after this.
Exactly, I agree completely. Like, this is a fight that will just be lost in my memory forever at this point. All right, go to the next fight here. Jamal Pogues defeats Josh Parisian. Pogues used his wrestling basically control the fight. Parisian, I think, actually landed probably the better strikes on the feet, Marcel, but he just kept getting taken down. Any thoughts on this one? Was again not a great fight. Any thoughts?
Yeah, not a fight I didn't give a fuck about. Good for Pogues, he won his debut, but another snoozer.
It was. It really was. Speaking of a snoozer, this one, even though it was shit, I still want to talk about it for a second. Got our boy Joe in the chat. What's going on, Joe? All right, so Marcin Prachnio wins the decision on Willie Knight. What the fuck was Willie Knight thinking? Like, seriously, what the fuck was he thinking, guys? Like, I'm looking at the stats right now. Marcin Prachnio landed 79 significant strikes. Willie Knight landed 8. 8 significant strikes in 50 minutes. He landed 3 in the first round, 1 in the second round, 4 in the third round. 1 head strike landed in 50 minutes, which I think is like a record, basically. Absolutely pathetic. Actually, Marcel, I think that's wrong. He landed 0 head strikes. Sorry, he landed 0 in this fight. Wow. He landed 0 head strikes in 50 minutes. Just an absolutely pathetic performance by Willie Knight. I'm 100% sure he's getting cut after this. I don't know, man. I will say this. Like, I saw his video that he posted on like Instagram where like fans are going after him saying they want to kill him and stuff because they lost him money. Go fuck yourself if you're fucking messaging the fighters because they lost. Go fuck yourself. You should never be betting if you're going to do that, Marcel. If you put a bet on a fight and you lose, it's on you. No one told you to make that bet, you know?
Of course.
Take some fucking responsibility for once, people. Like, honestly, it just pisses me off, Marcel, when I see this shit. And he's not the first fighter who said it. It just makes me sick. Like, it really does. It's like, leave these guys alone. It's not like he's thrilled with what happened. He just lost his job. There's no way they bring him back to the UFC after this. I will say that he didn't look like he wanted to be there, you know?
That's exactly what it is.
He took quite a bit of damage to his legs, and that's basically what he did. Just survived the 50 minutes, kept getting kicked in the leg, and then didn't do anything back. But even though it was a shit performance and I was like yelling at the TV, like, what is this guy doing? I would never message a fighter saying, you lost me money. And people who do that are just complete scum, Marcel, straight up. Anyways, any thoughts on this?
I mean, the coach was like, dude, do you listen to me? Do you listen? He's like, yeah. What's up? It really was like, I don't know what was up with William Knight, man. He looked off from the start. And I expected him to come out strong, you know, and try to finish the fight and then maybe gas out later. But he didn't even gas out because he didn't ever start, you know. And Prochnow had something like, I'm gonna just how do you say that, spoil leg kicks the whole damn time, because he doesn't do shit, and I'm not going to take any risk, because if he lands a good blow, I might get knocked out and I lose my job, you know? So he kept it safe.
Oh, he did what he had to do. No doubt about it.
Yeah. So he kept it safe, and he won the fight. But, yeah, man, for William Knight, I mean, you know, I never understand people messaging fighters like, oh, you messed up my parlay and that
fucking
kind of
losers.
Stuff. It's like,
fucking losers, bro. Straight up.
I mean, nobody told you to bet on the fight, you know, and if you're stupid enough to put William Knight in your parlay, then it's your. I mean, he is. It's not like he is like how do you say that? Someone who
reliable.
Reliable. You can count on normally, you know, something. And I understand when he fights Prochnow. Prochnow only has 2 wins in the UFC against Villanueva and a close one against Roundtree. That people favor Knight here in this fight, but it's like, you bet. It's your responsibility, you know.
I will say this, Marcin Prochnow, man. You know, Marcel, when he started in UFC, he lost 3 straight fights by knockout, and I'm like, okay, this guy's getting cut. He's really turned it around. I got to give this guy credit. He's won 3 of his last 4. He's not the most exciting guy, but like, he does what he has to do to win the fights. And
that's the Dutch touch when you train in the Netherlands.
Is that where he's training? Netherlands?
He's training in the Netherlands, yeah.
I mean, you know what, man? Got to give the guy credit. He's looked good with the kicks. So because he knocked out Ike with that kick, and now obviously this fight with the kicks, and the Roundtree fight, I think he threw a lot of kicks too, if I'm not mistaken. So good for him, man. I mean, he's turned it around. But yeah, you think William Knight gets cut? I mean, it's pretty fair to say, right?
I mean, I never hope for someone to get cut. I always see people on Twitter is like, I hope he gets cut, or that's pretty much like you're saying you hope somebody loses his job. I never would say that, you know. But I think it's most likely after this performance that he will get cut. Yeah, I would be surprised if we give him another fight, but I hate to say such a thing, you know.
I get it, but at the same time, Marcel, like, there's only so many spots on the roster, and this guy doesn't want to be there, then, you know, I can see why people are saying that. But again, I can't see why people are directly messaging him. He should just turn off his DMs. I have never had my DMs on, man. They're always private. I think, there's no way. Why would I want to, like, expose myself to, like, hatred and vitriol? Like, I don't get it. I feel like people do it on just so they can actually get these people to harass them, and then they can go and cry about it after. I'm not saying in his case that's not the case, but a lot of people, I think, they keep their DMs open so people will send them nasty shit. They want to see it. They want that controversy. Go ahead.
I talk about with Alex Bayunin, who's also in the chat normally over here. He always has his DMs open. I was like, dude, if you get harassed like that, just close your DMs.
I know.
You know, I don't listen, man. If I want to reach out to people, I'll reach out to them, and if they want to reach out to me, they can either tweet me, you know, or whatever, or ask a friend they have in the DM. They can DM me, you know. But I'm not going to leave my DMs open. I don't do that.
Completely agreed. All right, let me get some comments, guys. Let's see here. Knight should get cut. Yeah, I agree. Should have been cut. Oh yeah, when he fought Grisham. Yeah, I mean,
also let me add. Listen, man, the UFC is really real with their cuts, you know. I mean, they cut Saito Kakramano, for example. I mean,
makes no sense.
How
did you talk to him? Did he find out why he was cut? Did you talk to him?
No. And let's be honest, he didn't even last a round in the UFC.
ridiculous,
He
ridiculous cut.
got finished in that round against Nurmagomedov, but he wasn't losing
Didn't
that
he
round
destroy
either.
Ronnie Lawrence? Like he just took him. Yeah, that's crazy.
And he finished Trevin Jones on short notice.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's a horrible cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it's hard for him to make 205, but he should know better. He can't make that weight anymore. Can't blame because if he's going to do that, he's not going to train, right? Can't blame like the MMA training, I should say. Can't blame Pracho for Columbus. Yeah, he didn't get to do. Yeah, it's true. He did break a record. Most leg kicks landed. I think it's landed, not just thrown. I think it landed too. All right, a couple other fights here. Alexander Hernandez, the grade 8 Marcel, defeats Jim Miller, unanimous decision. 30-27 on 2 scorecards. A little surprised by that, I gotta be honest.
What do you add?
29-28 for Hernandez.
Yeah, man, I saw so many people on Miller. Listen, man, I love Miller, but I think Hernandez won
what
the
round
second
did you give him, by the way?
2 and 3.
That's
I think
what
Miller
I
won the first.
Okay, listen, like the last minute of the third round for sure, Jim almost submitted him, but I just didn't think it was enough to swing it because Alex won like the first 4 minutes. You know what I mean, Marcel?
Yeah.
But the first round, I really thought Jim Miller won the first round because I thought he landed the better shots, right?
Yeah, I think many people, also the people who had 30-27, they went with the last minute because of the damage. But I mean, Miller won the majority of the first round, in my opinion.
Yep,
second round, Hernandez won the majority of the round. And third round, Hernandez won. I mean, it wasn't like Makhachev having 3 or 4 minutes back control. It was like 1 minute trying to sink in that rear naked choke, didn't work. And overall, I think, man, I was surprised that so many people had Miller 29-28.
I saw the scorecards and NBA decisions. Like half the people had Miller 29-28.
I feel maybe I shouldn't say this, but I feel like sometimes when there's a fan favorite, right? They want him to win. Yeah, and in my opinion, if you're a little bit biased, you shouldn't give your scorecards for MMA decisions.
Trust me, man. Like I wanted Miller to win because I put a bet on him. I saw at the plus 200, and I was like, I mean, I thought it had a bit of a chance. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought maybe it was gonna be a split decision. I didn't think he was gonna win, but I was praying. You know what I mean? When I heard the 30-27, I was like, "Oh, it's dead. He lost." You know, because you couldn't give him the second round, right? There was no way. So
you know what it is, Adam. I really feel like with MMA decisions that sometimes people are biased with their scorecards, and the thing is, like for me, it's like if you're a biased as a fighter, don't give in your scorecards. You know, I'm good, for example, with Shane Burgos. I always interview him. I'm just good with him. You know. I'm not biased in his scoring, but I never turn in my scorecards for his fight for the simple reason that people know I talk to him a lot, you know. And if it's a 29-28 close decision and I score it for him, people are like, yeah, you probably want him to win. You always should, how do you say that? Get that out of the way, you know. Try to be, if you score a fight for MMA decisions for an outlet, don't be biased. In my opinion, that's how I feel about it, and I know you feel about the same.
Course, I completely agree. Couple other comments here. Prosper Marcel getting his tweet trying during the Miller fight. What'd you say? You know?
Sorry?
What'd you say? This guy's saying you tweeted something during Miller. You know what you said?
Oh, I got it on the how do you say that on the broadcast?
What did you write though? What did you write?
I said 1919 with the momentum in favor.
Oh of Hernandez. I thought Miller had Hernandez early. He was landing some hard shots. Yeah. I mean, I could see you 29-28 Marcel, but I again, it's someone who did pick and bet on Miller. I was hoping for it, but I didn't think he won the fight. I try to be unbiased if I can. Hernandez finally fought more composed. Yeah, he looked pretty good actually. Now he wants to go back to on the 145. Don't really understand it. Like I still think that weight cut's really hard for him. He said his dick didn't work. Did you hear about that? He said his dick stopped working.
I screenshotted that how do you say that the tweet, and I sent it to his manager, to Jason. I was like, thank you, Jason. I really wanted to hear this.
You shouldn't, bro. If his dick's not working, then like that's too much big of a weight cut. I mean, let's just be honest. Like that's not good. I mean, unless he just doesn't want to have sex anymore, then I guess he can sacrifice it. But like, I think that'd be a bad idea.
maybe you have to set to pee this time, you know.
Oh man! All right, let's get to the next fight here. Fight of the night, Marcel. Nazim Sadikov defeats Evan Elder, 3rd round TKO with a doctor stoppage. So let's talk about the fight first, and we'll talk about the finish. Phenomenal fight. I mean, both guys went to war. I told you Elder was good, man. I knew he was good. Like, I remember doing the tape starting this guy, and he's definitely a good fighter. You know what, Marcel? I actually thought he won both rounds. I'll be honest with you. And
he did.
I bet on Sadikov, and I was really scared. I was like, fuck. Like, I don't know how the judges. Like, I was hoping they had it 1-1, but obviously we know now they had it 2-0, all three of them. And I think that was a good scorecard. He got bailed out by the doctor stoppage. It was a really quick doctor stoppage. Like, it was really fast. Not only that, but now we know afterwards it wasn't a legal blow that cut him. Apparently, it was a clash of heads. So reality is, Marcel, it should have been a no contest. Or sorry, not a no contest. Because it was in the third round, they actually should have went to the scorecards, and Evan Elder should have won a technical decision. So this guy's lucky he won the fight, Marcel. I gotta be honest with you.
Wasn't an illegal blow. I thought it was the knee that opened up.
Bro, no, it wasn't.
Was it the headbutt?
That's what he said. Not a head. Remember, headbutt's illegal. Clash of heads.
Clash of heads. I mean, yeah.
If it was a headbutt, then it's a disqualification potentially.
I gotta watch it back.
Is an accident, but because it was third round, it should have went to the scorecard. They should have used instant replay. They're in Vegas. They can use instant replay. They didn't because they thought it was the knee. This guy's he's a good fighter, but he got a little lucky with this win. You know, I'll say that myself.
He should appeal it.
He should, and I think he might. I think he might because the other guy was the one who came out and said, "Oh, it was a clash of heads." He should have never said that. I wouldn't even say that if I was him. He might end up losing the no contest. Like I don't think they're going to take his money back or anything like that, but it might be not overturned. I wouldn't think it would be a no. It shouldn't be a no contest. Actually, like I said, it's third round, meaning it would have went to the scorecards, meaning Elder would have won the technical decision.
Then he should, dude. I mean, I didn't even knew that, but
he's the one who said. We'll watch the post-fight interview. It's on.
I haven't. Yeah.
Oh. So yeah. Anyways, it was a good fight, though, Marcel. It was a fucking war. I mean, these guys went to war. Fucking awesome fight.
Mm-hmm, it was.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, and yeah, man, it's a good fight. And you know, Marcel, I know Elder's 0-2 now in the UFC, but like, I'm definitely bringing him back for another fight, obviously.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I had to laugh about Ray Longo, what he said in between rounds.
What he said?
He's like, so listen, in my opinion, it's 1-1, but what the fuck do I know? You need the next round.
Yeah, and that's what he said too. He's like, Ray told me I had to finish the guy. So like, that's what he tried to do. The guy's good, man. I like Sadiko. I'm just saying, like, he got bailed out here, man. He did. He got bailed out. If this fight went to the scorecards, he would have lost.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I mean, it could have been 10-8 round, could have been a draw, but probably not. Elder was getting a little tired. Anyways, it was a great fight. Elder actually dropped him in the first round, which surprised me. But yeah, it was an awesome fight. Kind of sucks that there was some controversy now, though. You know, so we'll see. I mean, he might appeal it, and he might win his appeal. Elder should have said something in the moment. His coaches should have said, like, "Hey, go look at the replay. Like, we think it was a clash of heads." Because again, if that's what opened it up, then. You know, but it was Mark Smith the ref. Mark Smith's not the greatest ref, Marcel. He didn't notice it. I gotta be honest, he's not the best ref. You know, so yeah. And again, didn't you think it was a quick doctor stoppage? Like, what do you think?
I understand it. You know,
it was
there was another vein we saw. Just
it was like they let Gregory Rodriguez fight through that, and they stopped it for this guy. I still think it's weird they let that Rodriguez fight and Chidi continue, don't you?
Yeah. I think that's also why they are really more hesitant after what happened there, you know, and I understand it, you know, it that they stopped the fight.
Yeah.
I definitely felt for Elder, you know, because man, he looked good. He even I think he dropped Sadikov in 1 or 2 rounds. So, I mean, it sucks. He definitely will be back, you know. He got the fight of the night, and you saw his reaction to when his coach told him he got the fight of the night bonus. It was an amazing reaction, you know. He couldn't believe it. He's like, how did you know? And the coach is like, yeah, they just announced it. Are you sure? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, so he definitely needed that. I'm sure these guys, you know, need that money. And I agree with Glenn. Ref missed it, commentators missed it, instant replay official missed it. I agree. What's the point of the replay if you're not going to catch this kind of stuff? So, yeah, again, great fight. Sucks, you know, something's kind of taken away from him with that, but it is what it is. All right, next fight here. Myra Bueno Silva defeats Lena Landsberg by knee bar. I mean, we both loved her in this fight. And Marcel, I'm really starting to like this girl. Like, I find her very exciting to watch. I watched her post-fight interview, and she's like, they asked her like how she's going to celebrate, and she's like, "No, I don't drink because I'm already crazy enough. Like, I don't need to drink." I love it. I mean, this is exactly what the kind of fighter you want. I mean, this chick looked great in this fight. Her kicks looked nasty. Her stand-up looked great, and then her ground game looked amazing. Again, she has 4 submission wins in the UFC in her 5 wins. She's fucking nasty in the ground. She can bang and stand and bang too. I love her, Marcel. I'm really starting to like. She's one of my favorite female fighters to watch right now. She looks awesome.
Weren't you surprised?
Pardon?
Weren't you surprised that she took so long before she took the fight to the ground?
Yeah, because Landsberg, you know, is better in the stand-up, right? But once she did take it to the ground, it was easy, and she got the bonus too. But Marcel, I mean, I'm really liking her game, man. I think she's really fun to watch. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Landsberg retired today, so.
She did? Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna get caught either way.
I think Bueno Silva is really good. She's fun to watch. She got some flaws in her game, what we saw in the UFC before, but she's a fun fighter to watch. And she's a finisher. That's something that's fun. I think many people misunderstood understanding her, and me did as well the first time I saw the interview. I thought she were asking for a title shot against Paul Felder, but she actually said like, does Raquel Pennington deserve a title shot? I don't think so. She said like maybe a few years ago, but I want to fight her. So, and I think Paul didn't call it. So he was like, in the next three questions, he tried to figure out what she said, and then he figured it out. He's like, oh, okay, you want Pennington, yeah. But
I was so confused. She kept calling on so many people. It was weird.
Yeah, she won't get Pennington, by the way, I think. But
no.
Yeah, I like to see what's next for her. She will be ranked after this one in the higher ranked, and I think she deserves it. I really like what she did so far, and also her last fight against Agar, that really weird submission that nobody saw, only Ron McCarty saw it. Yeah, good for her, man. I mean, she's winning in life, not just in the cage, but also outside the cage. So good for her.
Yeah. No, I like her, man. She's a good fighter, dude. I really like her. I agree with this guy. I mean, it's a great weight class for her. She's not killing herself to make the weight. Again, Marcel, it just shows you don't need to kill yourself. Since she's moved up 3-0, I mean, you can't beat that, right? All right, Jamal Ummers defeats Christina Askabov. Askabov just didn't look ready for the UFC in this fight at all. I mean, the guy, like you said, I think you talked about it. His record was padded. Let's be honest. Like, I still had a hard time thinking this guy's 23-0, but obviously he just wasn't ready for this opponent here. Emmers looked pretty good in the fight. And it's not like Emmers inexperienced. He has 25 fights himself. Emmers got the job done. Not the most exciting fight, but he got the job done. Any quick thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are levels,
Oh, yeah.
And this dude was 23-0. I mean, but if you look at the guys he defeated, I saw a Dutch guy, a Belgian guy who were decent, but not the top of the crop or whatever, And man, he didn't look good at all against Emmers. Emmers did really good. I think there was already when we said last week, we're like, this is really good. I mean, the record is really good, but how good is this dude? We don't really know. And Emmers. Emmers is a decent guy in the division. I think he can beat some guys, and I feel like he got that win over Corey Sandhagen early in his career, right? And many people were like, it's a much closer fight than many people think, and it was, and I think Emmers did well. He did really good, I think Askarbov was a step behind every time in that fight. Good for Emmers, I'm happy for him. He got the win. And for Askarbov, I mean, you come in with hype with 23-0, but he didn't look like 23-0. Let's put it that way. And there's no disrespect to the guy, but it's really obvious that this was his strongest opponent yet, and he couldn't handle it.
No. Yeah, no, he looked good. I mean, overall. Masvidal, Conan, the 23-year-old guy, made me think he was going to win. I thought he'd win too because of the record, but like Emmers is underrated. I mean, like you said, Sandhagen, he has a win over Alexander Hernandez as well early in his career, so he got some. And
he was looking good against Pat Sabatini as well until he went to the ground with that.
That was a mistake. Speaking of looking good, Marcel, I mean, credit to you for this one because I thought he could win by decision. I didn't ever expect him to win first minute by knockout. Philippe Lins absolutely destroyed OSP. Kind of feel like he should have got a bonus too, to be honest with you. I mean, OSP, listen, like I know he's not a great fighter anymore, but like who destroys him in a minute like this? I don't think it's happened really before. I'm looking at his record right now. Like guys have beaten him, but like late in the fight or by decision. No one's went in there in the first minute and knocked him out. I think this kind of shows he's done. He's probably at the end of his career, but I'm impressed by Lins in this fight, man. I mean, that was impressive. Any quick thoughts? Because I think he should have got a bonus, honestly.
The UFC tortured us with Lins and OSP fights on the main card for a few years, and now they put them on the prelims, and it's a knockout within a minute. So yeah, OSP's team forgot the skateboard this fight. So I mean, good win for Lins. I think he deserved a bonus as well. How he put him away, he didn't get the bonus, but we know what he gets for the fight. So he gets pretty well paid. I think he was on 80 plus 80. So I'm happy for Lynch, man. This is fine. Like I tweeted as well. This is the Lynch we all expected. When he came in the UFC. When he won the PFL tournament, when he won the $1 million tournament, and yeah, finally, I feel like finally the switch from heavyweight to light heavyweight has been good for Lynch. The last fight he wrestled his way to a win against Pragnio, and now he got the knockout win. And now I want to see Lynch against better opposition. You know what I mean? I want to see him against somebody close to the top 15, top 20.
Oh, Pragnio, you like that fight?
Yeah, he won against Pragnio the last time when he made his
slight heavyweight debut. I'm so stupid. Yeah, how about Pauga?
Yeah, I was more thinking about Pauga against Bukauskas.
Okay, that's interesting. Actually, I wouldn't mind even Bukauskas against Lynch. That'd be interesting too.
For sure. Yeah.
That's sorry, I just completely did a brain fart there. I'm just looking at the card and
no problem.
I think it's always good when the guys on the same card that the timing works out really well, right? But
it's not like a memorable fight or something.
No. I do remember it, but yeah, I know. I was looking at his record earlier in the show. My bad. No, OSP's done. I mean, him and Shogun, that fight last year proved they were both done, and now Shogun's done, and I think OSP's done. It's just crazy. I've been watching OSP fight for almost 15 years now, in Strikeforce and UFC, and
I think,
yeah, man, and he's never been destroyed like this. It's never happened this fast. So, yeah. AJ Fletcher.
He even fought for an interim title, right?
Yeah,
against
he did.
John Jones.
Yeah, he did. AJ Fletcher defeats Themba Grimbo by submission. Themba, he had some takedowns early, but AJ Fletcher reversed him, got on top, beat him up. He's a pretty good fighter, Marcel. We saw that against Semmelsberger. He was able to take him down a few times in that fight as well. He what he said after the fight? He said that he only had $100 in his bank account, so he really needed this win. I mean, that's terrible. So hopefully he's got some more money saved now. I feel bad for the guy, but it just shows you how underpaid these guys are on the prelims. Good for him. No, Marcel obviously saves his job. Themba, I don't know what to think about this guy. I mean, he's not the youngest guy either, and making his debut here, and really didn't look great. So I'm not sure how much upside he has, but yeah, Fletcher, good for him to get the win. Any quick thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, Themba is a really positive guy, so I hope he can bounce back from this one. And for Fletcher, yeah, we said it last week in the podcast, man. He lost 2 fights in UFC, but those weren't bad losses, They were competitive fights against Semmelsberger and against Angelusa. So, yeah, good win for Fletcher. It was crazy. I think Themba had him on the ground, and 10 seconds later he finished Themba. Yeah. So with the elbow and then with the what was it, Creek guillotine choke, I think. Yeah. Yeah, good win for Fletcher. A necessary win. You don't want to go 0-3 in the UFC. No. So good win for him. And let's see what's next for him. So yeah, good finish for him.
And then finally, Clayton Carpenter, our guy, Marcel Simitz, Juan Camilo Ronderos. It's funny, during the weigh-ins, I don't know if you saw. Did you watch the weigh-ins on Friday?
Yeah, I do.
So he was talking to our boy Alex. I don't know if you saw. Alex was right in front of the camera at one point. I think the guy from Junkie's like, "Are you gonna stand in front of the camera during the weigh-ins?" He's like, "Okay, I'll move." But during the weigh-ins, or maybe it was when they were waiting for the guys to come out to do the poses, Juan Camilo came out because they were like, "Oh, it's his birthday, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, I can't wait to get my win bonus and then celebrate. And I was just thinking, this guy's gonna definitely get some coke. That's what he wanted to do. But yeah, he gets this finished in first round. Clayton Carpenter's a good prospect. That's all I'll say about this. Any quick thoughts?
Yeah, he was, man. I mean, I felt like he had some difficulties with the lighting, during the weigh-in because he had the sunglasses on inside. So
yeah, I was wondering about that too. But he also wrote at the post-fight press conference, so I don't know. I think he thinks he's cool or something. I thought he had a bad weight cut. I thought he had a bad weight cut. That's why he was wearing them. That's why
I never understood that people with wearing sunglasses inside.
But your dog wears them. He looks cool with them. I'll say this guy kind of looked. I'm not. He's a badass UFC fighter, but I don't know if the glasses fit him too well. I'll be honest.
But he fought well, man. Good finish, quick finish, first round. All credits to him. And I already liked him on the Contender Series. So let's see what's next. I mean, 125. 125 right now is more fighters than 265. And that's something that's really what I really like. I think 125 has been underrated for years. Yeah. And now finally gets more fighters and more exciting fighters for a lot of fans. For me, it was always exciting, but it's fun to see more guys coming at 125, like a Clayton Carpenter, a Vinicius Salvador, Tatsuro Taira, and I'm missing a Mohamed Mokayev, and I'm missing a lot of more who I can't name, but yeah, it's finally getting some more buzz 125. I'm happy for it,
You think Rodriguez gets cut?
I don't hope so, man. But I mean, it doesn't look good for him, obviously. He got one fight in the last couple of years, and he got suspended for using coke. So I don't know. He got a first round loss here, so we'll see. Maybe he gets one more, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It's funny. I was talking to my friend last week. We were just looking at the card, right? And my friend's got he's got like a theory. He goes, you have to bet against fighters who use coke. So he says he's going to bet against John Jones when he fights Gone, and he's going to bet against McGregor when he fights Chandler because he's convinced these guys are going to lose because of all the coke they've done. It's kind of funny, eh, Marcel? We'll see what happens. Maybe he's got something going here because he's 1-0 right now, right, with this guy. So we'll see what happens. Let's get some comments. Marcel, you know what's going on with the beef between Duambe and Fernando Lopez?
I have no idea, to be honest. No, I have no idea.
Okay. Marcus, what's up, man? He says, who stock dropped the most? OSP, I mean, for sure. Although, again, I think he's going to be released. William Knight, those two guys, I think. What do you think?
For me as well, I agree. Maybe people think Andrade. I don't think so, But maybe at flyweight, but not at strawweight. So,
yeah. Mick Parkin. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's injured. I don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, I like this Vinicius Salvador guy. He's good. Desis and Marcin makes sense. That would be a good fight, actually. That fight,
why not?
Any of those fights make sense. Someone said that. Turning late. What's up, Marcus? I didn't expect it either, Marcus. Talking about Blanchfield. I mean, I really didn't expect it either. The line movement definitely worried me too, Marcus. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was definitely interesting. Like, it went down so much. You had to wonder, like, what were people see? Like, whenever it happens like that, you almost have to wonder, like, if something's going on behind the scenes. Like, if people saw her training and she wasn't looking good, or there was an injury or something, because, like, it just moved so much. Basically, like, closes a pick and fight. I mean, it kind of surprised me, right? But that happens. Jose since Carpenter showed me the gym many times, made fun of him while doing it. I didn't know Jose even trained. I had no idea. What's up, Mike? How's it going, man? Glad to have you here. He says, I appreciate my brother. Wish you a fight for leaving. You too, my friend. Mike's from MMAOBDaily.com, does his picks, does his show on Saturday mornings, I think, Mike, right? Right before the card. So definitely check that out, guys. Mike's a really good handicapper.
Great dude.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to say, Marcel? Are you good? Because I think we should just get going to the preview show now. Is there anything else?
I agree with you.
Anything else? No, you're good?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. All right, cool. You guys can, again, follow me on Twitter at MMAOB. Follow Marcel at Big Marcel 24 on Instagram and Twitter. Obviously, the podcast, MMAOBDaily.com. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, guys. It's available. If you want download the audio version, you can do that as well. We've got a bunch of places where it's available. Just go down on the information here. I'll show all the links to that stuff, so definitely check that out. We're going to get started here with the preview podcast, UFC Vegas 70 in a second here, guys. So stay tuned to the podcast channel, and we're going to start in a second. You guys can join us then. Okay. Talk to you guys in a few. Bye.